apologize if you haven't heard us before. I have a bit of a potty mouth, but you're all adults. I think you could probably deal with it. Just kind of cruise around Portland, and I'm going to tell you some weird stories from Portland's past. We're going to go to Portland's most haunted building, which is a bar, conveniently enough, so we can actually drink in it. JD Chandler is our guest historian. He's going to take us to some of his favorite murder sites in Portland. From Austin, Texas.
I just want to take a look at where we are. This house that we're going to be passing is a coffee house now, and it's one of the sites where possibly Louise Bryant and Jack Reed met. No one actually knows where they met, but there are 4 or 5 sites where it actually could have happened. This is one because Norma Graves was a good friend of Louise Bryant. Doug likes to say we're an unimaginative lot here, but in this neighborhood, we've always had a lot of artists and musicians and bohemians. Radical politics has always been a big part of East Portland, Southeast Portland in particular. Portland into the age of vice, 1934 to 1953. It's going to be kind of a prequel to the popular book Portland Confidential, talking about how those gangsters who met their got hauled into court. None of them got any punishment. They all got hauled into court, but how they got into power in the first place. That's what we'll be looking at. This neighborhood really got its start in the 1890s when the Sunnyside streetcar began to operate down Belmont Street, which we're turning onto right now. Summers Park right now. After the commander of the Oregon Volunteers fought in the Philippines during the Spanish-American War and then the Philippines insurrection. So for the Pandora's Box murder, we're going back to 1946. A very hot summer. It was July 27th, 1946 that it occurred. Lived in this house with her 2 teenage daughters. Her husband Wes was a construction engineer who worked with the Army in Alaska during the war, building airfields out on the Aleutian Islands. In 1946, Fern, during the war and after, worked at the Port of Portland as a freight. When Wes got back from the war, he was convinced that she was having an affair with one of her coworkers in his footlocker. And then he told his wife, he said, "Don't go in the basement. It's dangerous down there. Just stay away from it. I'm going fishing out at Newport for a few days. See you." As soon as she was alone in the house, she went downstairs, she opened the footlocker and the basement, and she was blown to smithereens. My partner and I have written a musical drama based on this murder. So if there are any theatrical producers or angels in the audience, please talk to me about it, okay?
folks are not from here. In 1843, two business partners, William Overton and Asa Lovejoy, filed a claim to the west side of the Willamette River, so the other